We're moving all the time because of school, family, work, and we live in a massive country. So imagine the example of someone has prearranged themselves at a funeral home in Toronto where they're living, but then they decide to move all the way to Vancouver. And someone could think like, oh my goodness, oh, that's too bad I'm prearranged in Toronto because now I live in Vancouver. Oh no, really, as the consumer, you have all of the power. And as a prearranged person, you've not necessarily received any goods and services yet. That's why money is always held in trust. So what simply happens is the person that has moved to Vancouver would contact a funeral home in their new area and just explain the situation. And the funeral homes talk to funeral homes and say, we have the Smith family have now moved here from Toronto. They're going to be moving their prearrangement to us to do that future work someday. And the funeral homes seamlessly put that together. Funds are always continue to be held in trust, so the funds never move. And so some people would come and would bring their agreement or bring their contract to another funeral home and say, I have this prearrangement at this other funeral home. What would it cost to have this done here? And some people have been quite shocked at the variations and the variances in the different fees at different funeral homes, and sometimes have decided to move their arrangements to a new funeral home, not because they moved, just because they've had a change in mind, change of heart, and sometimes have discovered that there's even a surplus of money, or the consumer says, I wanted a very elaborate service that costs X number of thousands of dollars, but now what I want is something more simplified. Or you've moved to a provider that charges less, then that's where that surplus is discovered. And so any surplus could be and should be given right back to the consumer prior to them dying, if you know what I mean. You use the money now as opposed to your executor taking it later.